The New Hampshire seacoast, of course, is synonymous with summer. Whether you're strolling past the historic fish houses of Northampton or counting up your tickets at the iconic Playland Arcade in Hampton Beach. But as summer turns to autumn, we find there is still plenty happening on the main streets and back roads of New Hampshire's own Hamptons. Through seasonal foliage and lingering sun rays, we begin our journey at Hampton's Tuck Museum, where we are greeted by Lori Cotter, president of the Hampton Historical Society.
We were part of the Massachusetts Bay Colony when we were first started. So many of your settlers, Ipswich, Newbury, Lynn and Haverhill, and many Massachusetts towns, they were coming up here for more land.
But forming a community would be impossible without the region's indigenous people.
The Abenaki were quite prevalent here. They were our people that taught us how to plant, our people that helped us with planting the Indian corn.
From Winnacunnet, the Abenaki term for beautiful place of the pines, colonial settlers renamed the village Hampton. It was a nod to the English town of the same name and similar lush marshland, a luxury that later hindered plans for expansion.
The town of Hampton commissioned Warren H. Manning to do us a little bit of a development of what Hampton Beach might look like. You can see we have the casino here, we have what looks like very much like the half shell down in Boston, the public gardens here on the sides, and the playgrounds.
All fine ideas until
they wanted to put in an airport in Hampton Beach. This did not fly with Hampton because it would mean filling in the marsh.
The proposal was soon abandoned. But an older chapter of the town's history lives on. Well before Salem, Massachusetts staked its claim to infamy, locals in Hampton accused 8 people of witchcraft, convicting one notable resident.
Goody Cole was a little bit of a brusque type of individual. She was not a very nice person. So by 1657, she ended up in court because of her blasphemous nature. This then ended up in her being convicted of witchcraft.
The evidence?
There were things that happened, such as she went to visit an old man and he was on his deathbed. When she left, there was a black cat that came and pounced on his chest, and they blamed Goody of changing into a black cat. So with this doll, a lot of these dolls were made just as a kind of an example of saying, okay, here's Goody Cole. However, you can't leave it without saying that she was our town witch.
And some would argue you can't leave Hampton without a stop at LeMay's.
Well, there's a ton of history in this building.
Samantha Bowley serves as manager at the historic LeMay's Inn. This has been a campaign stop for a long time.
We had Al Gore here, Mitt Romney was here, and numerous others.
And in 1963, with the nation still reeling from the assassination of John F. Kennedy, a visit from former President Eisenhower provided a much-needed lift to downtown Hampton.
Many pictures of him. He's got his own favorite hotel room. They got pictures of him, having Thanksgiving dinner here.
Mike Higgins and his family took over the establishment 25 years ago when their cherished Hampton Beach eatery, the Old Salt, burned in a tragic fire in 1999. But soon, fate intervened at nearby LeMay's. So the previous restaurateur just hightails it out of town?
Hightails out of town. And then we found out it was for sale, and, we had twice the building for half the money that was down on the beach.
The result is a beloved destination that serves up the serenity of the seacoast as well as mouth-watering dishes.
You don't know how they're going to refer to us. Is it LeMay's or is it the Old Salt? And we carry both names.
It is a heartwarming comeback story. But a quarter-century later, the fate of the original Old Salt remains a cautionary tale at a nearby museum.
What's in this building is a little bit of the history of firefighting. We've got an old hose wagon from Northampton. We've got an old hand pumper called the Winnacunnet #1 from 1853.
The Fire Museum carries memories and also a crucial message.
Fire history really dictates the way things are going to happen now. You look at some of the old fires and some of the old issues that happened, the Coconut Grove fire, the Triangle Shirtwaist fire. That really builds on prevention and codes.
But through triumph and tragedy, the spirit of Hampton continues to carry this coastal community.
Hampton's an incredible town. We have a beautiful beach area. It's just a wonderful place to live.
Wow, that's sun. Well, we should also mention that last month, LeMay's experienced another fire, causing both the Inn and the Old Salt to close temporarily.
Yeah, it actually happened while we were in town. The good news is the restaurant has reopened. They're doing business. The Inn and Lounge should be open very soon. And back to Goody Cole, you know, she was one of a number of people who were accused of witchcraft. All of the women who were accused were named publicly. There were men accused as well, but their names were never released.
No comment.